hopefully we're okay. Katie's gonna record if that works for everybody, and then she's gonna post it on our social medias just so folks that aren't able to come out all the way to the peninsula can still take a peek at the equipment. So hopefully that's doable. But obviously both of y'all know that it's the compaction equipment from Ranchworx that we're gonna be demonstrating. PCD, being that you guys worked with the district, we do cost shares a lot of the times, and so we're able to support the Bryants in helping purchase this piece of equipment, and then part of that is doing the demonstration, then hopefully getting it out onto other farms in the area. And so that is the game of today, is kind of show y'all how it works and get it going and get it moving, and I'll turn it over to the Bryants to do an introduction of their farm. But PCD is excited to be a part of this project and get some new equipment into some other small-scale farmers, and so that's why we're here. We'll videotape the demonstration and get things working. We'll actually see it out on the field, I think is the goal of today. And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, that all goes well and we can start decompacting our soils and get some productive fields out there, is the more or less the goal. Some PCD resources. I know we worked with the Conservation District kind of in different capacities in the past with both of the, or with both of y'all out here. Feel free to grab it. Let me know if you have any questions. My contact information's on there. I'm not in the Gig Harbor. I know you worked with Paul. He does all everything past the bridge. I'm on the other side, but feel free to reach out to me. Happy to answer any questions or get you to Paul, who's out here a little bit more often than I am. But thanks for being here. Get some breakfast. It's obviously just a handful of us, so it's not the most structured scenario or demonstration in the world. So yeah, do you guys want to introduce your farm and we'll go from there and jump into the demonstration? Or
Sure, we can, super fast.
yeah,
Kaukiki Farm, we came out here coming up 18 years, and so, hello, just for the recording. Yep, so we've been here about 18 years now. And so we started with the original 70 and then picked up our other 70. So we're a little over 140 acres in total. And so primarily it was kind of run down a little bit with blackberries, and we had cows' pens off here and they'd pushed it into the pond. And so we had quite a bit of work to do just to get going. You know, currently now we work on sustainable grass-fed beef and lamb. And so we try to pretty much feed everything on the farm other than bring in a little bit of alfalfa and some minerals and things. So trying to work that sustainable standpoint. We feed most of our own hay, which, you know, we just got up yesterday. But part of that circle is really improving the soils. And so we've been lucky to have irrigation from the pond here. And so we have irrigation rights to help us get multiple crops, which is neat in Western Washington. But again, you know, it's trying to find that right balance of what we can put in and really improving the soils. So we've been really interested in compaction. We knew that was a problem that we were trying to face, and you know, the whole idea of plowing and turning over to overcome that was really daunting. You know, we have a lot of clay soils. We did that in the back, in one of our back parcels once, and it was just an ongoing nightmare for about 3 years. So you're really looking at alternate ideas, and so we ran across this equipment, and then we found the grant opportunity through Sustainable Soils, and worked with the Conservation District to write the grant, which is my first grant ever. So that was fun. Renee gave us a lot of help, and then we submitted that and were chosen for, you know, for this as a demonstration project. So as I understand the demonstration project, really, you know, everybody isn't sure. We haven't seen this kind of a unit here. It's used a lot in the Midwest. It's used a lot down in Texas, big open kind of fields, but, you know, with a lot of success. So the thought is, can we bring something like this in with our region, you know, especially with the clay soils that we see on the peninsula and around, to try to help improve some of that compaction and improve some of our soil productivity. We do a lot of hay for other people too, and so we've watched the hay production decline. You know, over the years we've done it. You either add fertilizer or you continue to have less and less hay going, and you know, not all of our folks that we farm for or help have the resources available for them, you know, to put that back into the farm. So we thought this might be another way to improve the soils and improve their soil retention and health, and maybe get some of the crops up where it was super affordable too for some of those older folks or some of the folks with limited means that are still trying to farm. So that's kind of a little bit about us and the unit. And Warwick, I'll turn it over to you for specifics.
This fairy
She
thing.
covered it.
Little fairy thing.
I wanted to
Nice, Mike. So what got us thinking about this was when we first got here 17 years ago, we're heavy clay, so we figured there was going to be some compaction. We didn't have one of these snazzy things here to measure compaction, but what we were seeing was we weren't getting the root depth. So typically in grass, if your grass is that tall, your root system is that tall. But if your grass, if you have the compaction, you're not going to get that growth on that moisture. You don't get the moisture in the summer, and you get the roots can't get through it. So with the clay, what we did, I remember years ago, we planted some down in the field here. We planted some not turnips, little radishes. Thank you. Down here because they have a deep root system to try and break up some of the compaction on this field down here. And I think it did make a difference. But what we found is over the years as we go on and we don't do any, address those problems, our crops decline gradually as well. And you can, typically what a lot of people do is when you see the crops decline, what do? You add more fertilizer because it's easy, it's expensive, but it's easier to do. Which is actually the wrong thing to do, and then that gives us farmers a bad name because a lot of that you get runoff if you have too much fertilizer, it goes into the water system and stuff like that. So it's all about water retention, and it's about getting that root system down as deep as we can. So we started thinking about what's out there for for aerators, and the most common one you see around here is an airway, and it's a tine system. But the biggest problem you have with it, you can never get enough weight on it to get it down into the ground, to fracture the ground. So I did some research when this grant opportunity came up, and I found this, and I'd never seen this before. If you ever been going down the road and you see roadworks, doing a bunch of works, and you'll see something like this that they have, and they have these big pivot steers, tractors that they pull behind this, it's breaking up the compaction on these roads. And they use exactly the same thing as this. And that's what got me thinking about it. So the idea of this is the drier the better, which is opposite to what you think, because wet ground won't fracture, dry ground's got a fracture, and you go as fast as you can. So this thing, you do 11, 12, 15 miles an hour if the ground will let you. The faster, the better. So that was the other thing that was advantageous for us, is we can get around the field so much quicker. Because that's the other problem, is if you're going to go and do it for people and things like that, it's time's money. So it's about having something that's fast and something that's effective. In the right conditions, with the right soils and the right moisture content, which is dry, this will fracture the ground down to 20 to 24 inches, which is huge. And there's no other machine that will do that. And so that's what got us going on this. And the other thing about it, it's what you see there is you just put on the ground and drive. There's no fancy, it's simple, just super simple, nothing to go wrong hardly at all. Then there's a seeder on top of that. We looked at that, we thought if we're going to do a passage across the ground, let's try and do some reseeding as we do that, and then we can drag some harrows behind that as well. So that's why we came up with this. It sort of checked all the boxes, but the big thing is the fracturing of how deep it will fracture. So I was telling Caleb earlier, what you're trying to do, we have a drought here every summer, right? Almost every summer we'll have a drought. And actually here, this area here, we are in July, I believe, we are the driest area in the whole country here as far as the moisture content that we get, which really blew me away, but that's consistent every year. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to store water. So if the water can get down and the roots can get down to it, it means that you don't have to, in our case, we don't have to start irrigating this soon. In case where, I don't know whether you probably don't have irrigation or anything like that,
No.
but you just see how much longer the grass will keep growing when you have that water storage and the root system to go down to it. You can't do it unless you have looser ground. So that's what got us thinking about it, is the aerating has been a big issue, but finding the right tool to do it.
Will you think you'll be doing these on your fields? Is this a yearly
Yep,
occurrence?
I'll do it every year. Yeah. And also being clay, I probably will do it every year, I think. I'll play with it and see compare it and measure. And I'll get one of these things here and see if that makes a difference. But where we run our cattle up over on the other property up over here, cattle cause a lot of compaction. So I'm going to run it up there and see if that makes a difference, because I dry out there probably by May, early June. I'm dry. There's no feed. I'm having to move cattle. If I can just extend that a month, that's huge. So yeah. Well, and so we're lucky here. We don't actually have to feed. We only feed about 4 months of the year, the cattle. We have enough grass and place up there. But I want to extend that as much as I can. It gets to be a pain every day. So yeah, so hopefully this will be the ticket for what we're wanting to do. I have a no-till drill as well, which works really, really well. But boy, if I can do it with the broadcaster and not have to do the no-till drill, because the no-till drill's slow. You know, to do the front field, we try to reseed about every 3 years, just overseed. But just to do the front field with the no-till drill is it's over a day. It's a 7-foot wide drill, so it's just time. So, but yeah, we're pretty excited about it. So,
that's cool.
I was just saying earlier too, the superstructure, it looks so big, is because of the cedar. It's not because of the machine, the aerator itself. The cedar was a little bit more involved than once I got it here. I went, holy crap! Ooh, I can't say that I'm on this thing.
So would our tractor pull that?
I think it will. It's
Little John Deere.
how it's really not the horsepower. It's just the weight. You really need the weight of the tractor. But I would imagine a 50 horse will pull it fine. I'm going to be pulling up the hill there. Probably might not be able to pull it up there.
We're
But
pretty flat.
yeah, but if you're flat, yeah, that's one of the beauties about it. It's you just the tines. You want the tines to be in about 3 inches. So we'll go and set it down. And if they won't go in 3 inches, you add water to the drum until you get the penetration down. That's where it works best. We're a little bit late in the year. We've had some rain, a little bit too much moisture. So we're probably a month late. We should have done this a month ago. But just by the time everything went through, we didn't get the machine until about 6 weeks ago, a month ago. And then they'd forgotten a couple of things and things like that. So, but yeah, you should be able to pull if you've got level ground. Even a 30 horse would pull it on level ground. It's just, yeah. I aerated the field below down to the right there about a month ago when we first got it, and haven't irrigated, haven't done anything to it, and it has really come away. Now, whether or not that's because of the aerator, I'm not sure.
August was pretty wet.
August was pretty wet. You're exactly right. Yeah, because I haven't irrigated for a month.
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks. So I
makes
think,
it nice.
yeah. So I think that's part of the issue as well. So, but yeah, no, it's I think it's going to make a huge difference for us.
Sub-irrigated in your valley? You did like that. I know with some of those.
The water's pretty. It's right there. You know, probably right now 4 feet.
Okay.
There's a ditch around the whole thing, but it's pretty low there, and plus there's real frost pockets, wet pockets.
Yeah.
So every evening it kind of you can just go out there after the sun goes down. It's 15 degrees cooler, just right away.
So you're on that just before the curve.
Yeah.
On the right.
So if you get coming out here, take a right, and Whiteman Road, we're right there down there on the right.
Yep.
The
As
old,
you're going to Joanna.
Yeah. Yep. And who had it before you did?
Shane and
Yes.
The Hostin.
Fisherman.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Know the property. Yep. So great piece of property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were on Geek Harbor Fox Island our whole entire life, and I'm in the tree business. We got land and farms all over the whole United States,
Yeah.
but farming for trees and farming for all that stuff is different than farming. So it's we got 10,000 acres of Mount St. Helens that we just grow Mount Noble on for Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And so it's we're very, very lucky there because Mount St. Helens deposited
Yeah,
4 to 8 feet of
Yeah.
the
Ash.
best soil in the world. That Weyerhaeuser didn't seem like it was worth anything, and we thought it was worth, all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
it was a cool piece of property, still is, and so there's all this plant material that the ash laid on, and now you have this black goo of just food for the trees.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're 3,000 feet, and they're growing 3 feet a year.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty
we're
cool.
we're very lucky.
Yeah.
But in terms of farming grass and all that stuff is all pretty new, so it's the same concept. The trees, we're trying to get moisture to them in the summertime to survive. So same with grass, same with everything you grow.
Well, we look. I'm from New Zealand originally, and grass is New Zealand's #1 crop by about 90%. And so we're very good at growing grass in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And everything's done on grass. All our beef, all our sheep, even our dairy, until about a few years ago, it was all 100% grass. And so we treat the farm here, we treat this grass, it's like a crop of wheat to us.
Mm-hmm.
So we do pH tests all the time. No-till drill. We fertilize, use commercial fertilizer in the spring, don't in the fall. But yeah, we get that all tested, and we actually have a fertilizer mixed for us based on our soils. And that has made, actually, we didn't do it last year because I got too late. We get it out of Moses Lake, and we fertilized with the regular stuff here, and huge difference. Not nearly as effective. So so I'm a big believer in that. I wasn't, before, and then I started having them do it based on our pH soil testing and stuff, and yeah, huge.
You test every time before you're applying?
About every 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, because the soil doesn't change that fast,
Sure.
and so we try to do it about every 2 or 3 years. So.
And they incorporate the lime with the fruit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So we used to do a lot of liming for people. So the Pacific Northwest is typically very acidic because of all the evergreens. They create acidic soils. So we used to do a lot. I used to put down about 100 tonne of lime a year. Used to do it here, but for everybody else as well. And then that changed. But back 3 to 5 years ago, there was the feeling that you couldn't lime and fertilize at the same time. The lime would neutralize the fertilizer too much. We'll come to find out that's not the case. And so now the fertilizer that I'm getting, I've got my pH to where I want it, and now I maintain that through my fertilizing. So again, one less pass over the soil. And for lime to make a difference, to change the pH, it's typically around here 1 to 2 tonne of lime per acre. And lime's not that expensive, but it's the cost of getting it done.
Yeah,
And it's just dead weight. That's the problem. It's just dead weight.
Yeah.
So that was a big bonus for us, was getting it up to that and then being able to do it through the fertilizer.
So there's no issue anymore, it seems, to apply lime and nitrogen together in the same.
Correct. That's what we've been told. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yep.
It seems to
Yep.
a little bit new. And
We
just
can
for,
introduce you to those guys. That's for the egg sciences.
Yep.
I think that would be great, because I know what Renee's saying is very good to know. Just some resources with Pierce Conservation District is we do free soil tests for farmers as well. So Paul was out there and did a test or didn't. That's always an option for you. There's 5 free per parcel, and then kind of get you kind of your boots wet, and then you'll be in a position to do your own recommendations and seek out your own fertilizer. So great resource to get those free.
Is that a one-time deal, or do you do it about every
up to
3
5
years?
tests. And so if you guys want to,
I've exhausted it.
Nice try.
And then, because they aren't the cheapest in the world, as y'all know.
No, we had ours done last year, and it was wasn't.
But good resource. And then with the lime and getting a hold of the lime, PCD organizes a concentrate order, a full concentrate order, to get everybody ordering in one big order placed in March. Is that when we usually do it? February, March, and then that cuts down on shipping when it's split between X amount of folks.
Is it Calpro?
It's
Granulated?
I'm sorry.
Is it granulated or flour?
It's through Concentrates Inc. And so they do cover crops. They do a bunch of different types of lime. They do just off-the-shelf fertilizers. So
Yeah, but how does it come though? Does it come in a granulated form like fertilizer, or is it a flour?
It's both. There's you have 2 options.
We had a handful of people order powdered and
So there's multiple, and they're in Oregon that they offer. They're in 50-pound bags.
They're in 50-pound bags.
What's that?
So that was always, that's how I started out doing it, was in 100-pound bags. And when you're trying to put a ton or 2 per acre, it's pretty onerous.
How many shoulder replacements do you have?
We ran into that this year, where folks just needed so much lime based on their soil test results. And so we always, so you're in the long game. If they're recommending 9,000 pounds per acre, so you don't have to do it that year.
Yeah.
And you can do the 1 to 2 tons per acre to really see that change, and then maybe the following year or in 2 years you can retest and go from there. But
Can you guys order it through as 1-ton totes?
I I don't think. I think with concentrate, we may look in a different avenue for our bulk ordering this coming year, and so maybe that is something that we can look into. The folks that we've been doing it with, concentrate teams down in Oregon, they have only done the 50-pound bags,
Okay.
and so I think that's a good point to maybe look into see if there are other folks we'll work with. That might be a criteria that we could see if we could get them in bigger totes. Especially
Well, and then the problem with that though is you got to have the equipment to handle 1 ton totes, and then you got to have the lime spreader that can take a ton, because once you start dropping it, you can't stop it.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
And, yeah, PCD does have a lime spreader as well to rent, but it's pretty small. It can be
Yeah.
pulled by like an ATV, and so
Oh, wow,
the
yeah.
50-pound bags are definitely able to be tossed in there. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, especially when you have a handful of acres.
But I tell you,
Some
if
tools for your box. But
sorry,
No, go for
but if you get your pH right, that means you require half the amount of fertilizer. That's the key there. Is get pH is underrated when it comes to grasses, pasture ground, and for you getting into it and stuff like that, or even you with grass. But if you get your pH right, you just do not need the fertilizer that you would otherwise. Yeah. So
I know on that bulk, is it possible, you guys do your neat surveys? Could you push out a survey? Because, I think there might be a demand from others. Like
Sure.
for us, that concentrates is always hard because it's small. But
Sure. As in, kind of what format the.
yeah, if there's an interest in bulk
Sure.
buying in the county, and then we can help with the logistics. But
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if there's others, that would like bigger sizes.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if we're gonna find a different source that can kind of accommodate a more of a bulk ordering than what we've done previously. I think that's a good idea. And we've done it in the spring, and then we did it in the fall this year too. And so if there the needs there, y'all have noted that it's incredibly difficult to find that much amount of lime at a reasonable rate, and so if we can kind of
Well, we
get
can
it
share.
together.
Yeah.
help you out.
Yeah, we can drop ship, like on the key and down the south side and different areas, and so.
well, there's another resource too out of Chehalis. They'll come in with their big 3-wheel lime spreaders,
Sure.
and as long as you have a minimum of 30 ton, they'll come up and do it, and they can put that stuff down cheaper than we can buy the lime.
Valley Egg.
Yeah, Valley Ag, and so I was looking at talking with them,
Okay.
and because I know there's quite a few hay people we do stuff for that would be interested in doing that, so we can get the 30 ton easy peasy,
Interesting.
and so that's another resource too. Is
They definitely like the more the merrier.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
Valley
might be
Ag
a silly question, but how long do you have to keep your livestock off the property?
As soon as you get a bit of rain on it,
Okay.
it's slightly caustic. But the other thing is, if you've got, it depends how tall your grass is too. But if it'll sit on the grass for a little bit, they won't like the taste of it. But it won't burn them or anything.
Okay.
No,
Do you prefer the pelleted lime or the flour lime?
flowered lime, it's way less money.
Okay.
The cowprill, the pelletized stuff, cowprill, super expensive.
Yeah.
And the thing with lime is it's about getting volume down.
Sure.
And when you do a cowprill or fertilizer granules, you've got it all spread out. So you're not getting a blanket coverage, which is what you actually need. You need a blanket coverage. So that's why I've always done the flour. It's a better response, is what we find. But if we could, hook up with these guys out of Valley Ag, and every couple of 3 years, and get you and maybe us and some other people together and stuff, that'd be more than happy to do it. That would be a really big resource. We can store it here, or wherever they need to bulk it. I think they just bring trucks in and go straight into the thing. Yeah.
Everyone on the peninsula. Yeah, I think that's a good recommendation. So we'll reach out to maybe Valley Ag is the way to go.
Yeah. So all of this infrastructure, you don't have this or this or any of that. It just comes with this frame here. And
Yeah.
so the idea is, I didn't want to go any wider because I want to be able to haul it down the road
Get through a gate.
and get through 12-foot gate. So, but it is built solid, but because it's all about weight. You've got to get the penetration of those blades.
And no vibrating, right? So.
Nope. And this thing turns on a dime.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if you had to lift it off the ground and turn it on the field.
Well, you do. So you can turn left,
Yeah.
but you can't do not turn right. Because what will happen if you turn right? It'll be like a shovel.
Yeah.
Find stuff out. But yeah, you just lift it up, and then I just do my runs, and then come and do my ends at the end of it. So, but no, I like the fact that it's so simple. And then the seed is the more expensive part, but that's all hydraulically run from the tractor, which is what I like. And I've got a sight thing up there that tells me how far I can open the gate up. I can see that from the tractor really easily. I can open the gate from here, and then this here, I just put this on, I don't like it there, but that I can change the speed of the fan. So because the speed of the fan dictates how far you spread and how evenly you spread it, depending on the seed that you're doing.
Yeah.
But no, it's really,
And
really
you're not
simple.
running any water in right now?
No, it's ground. But they use these for developing, going over brush, and it just breaks the brush up and everything like that. They been watching a little bit of it on YouTube, but
Yeah, I was just watching that down in Texas.
yeah, that's,
A video there, just going through the forest, of
Yeah.
all the scrub brush.
yeah, exactly. And just
Cutting
crushes
it down,
yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm
And they were moving too.
I know. It's all about going as fast as you can. So,
That Oregon, that red clay down Oregon, this would be great.
yep.
That clay down there is just crazy.
Well, you get in Chehalis too, right?
Yeah.
That red clay, yeah. So, and the thing is the blade. The other thing that I like about it too, the blades are self-sharpening.
So just going in the dirt. kind of
Yeah,
circles them.
you and I won't wear them out. In our life.
Unless you get out to Shelton or somewhere, a little glacier till, might beat it up a little bit.
Yeah. But apparently they they're self-sharpening, so they'll get sharper as the more I use it. So.
Yeah.
But no, it just made a lot of sense. It's real simple.
And then the drawbar goes.
And then Texas, they're using it for grass or just for water, or I mean mostly down there. What is the
Same
main
thing.
use is just for aerating.
Well, aerating they'll do it on dryland crop farming is where it's used a lot as well, because that's all they use these a lot in Canada because there's a lot of dryland farming up there. But it's all about getting that water storage.
Didn't you have some folks in the Palouse that were real interested in?
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine over there that's got
Dryland.
a few thousand acres over there, and he's interested in seeing how this works because he's got an airway, but he says, oh, geez, the thing just doesn't get any fracturing at all. So he's seen these, but they're not the cheapest thing on the market.
Yeah.
They don't give them away, but if they do what they're supposed to, the reviews are pretty good. So
All about tons per acre, right?
it is.
What model size is this one?
This is a 10 by 36 is what they call it. So they're 10 foot wide and 36-inch drum. So, and you can get tandems as well. It's
I've seen that.
all sorts of bloody things.
I know most of our fields,
No.
not Nikki's big.
And this is probably a little bit big. It was bigger than I thought it was. When I got here, I went, holy crap. And so, you get onto the half-acre pieces and it might be a little bit too big for that.
4 passes and done.
And then
it collapse to haul it?
No, that was the other thing too. Is I've got my big trailer there, and I'm too long. So what I'd have to do is take the tractor over there first, wherever I'm going, and then I can put this on the trailer with another tractor on the skid steer or something, and then just go. So it'd be a couple of trips, but not a big deal. But it would have been nice to get it all on one shot. But yeah, it's
So
just
you're hanging over like a foot on each side? Foot and a
yeah, it would be But as long as you stay on the key, it doesn't matter, right?
half. Just put 2 triangles.
Oh God, I think you two speak each other's language.
Sorry, Toad.
Go across the Purdy spit would be interesting.
Be a little tight.
Might want to go over spruce.
Yeah, so it's but again, it was doing something this big, or going something smaller, and spending a lot more bloody time going around it. And I spend enough time on a tractor now, so we're going to run it. It's not that impressive to run; it just goes round.
Yeah.
But you'll see what sort of a footprint it leaves as well. It doesn't leave much of a footprint.
Yeah.
You get a bit of you'll get a bit of stuff coming up, but the drier the less.
Yep, then we'll go see the field that we did too already. See if we can see anything going on there.
All right.
So go down? We're going to go down and I'm going to do the hay field here, and because I want to see if I can get up the hill.
Cool.
I haven't done that yet. Tush. I know I can come down. Oh, Mick's down there.
Way up there.
Yeah, we'll pick it up on Monday.
This is what happens when I forget to turn off the.
Well, we had I've had it one here for 17 years, never had a problem with it. And then we had a leak and down. See how far that goes in. So the blades are 6 inches long. So we want to get them down about 3. So if you look on the front side, you'll see how far down we were getting them on the last one. When we did that field over there, it was about 3 inches. I got lucky with that. Anyway, let me set it down and see what we do.
Oh, no, it's okay. I can run it.
I'll go grab it.
You all right?
I just lowered it. Where's your property?
Doesn't leave much of a footprint.
No.
Actually, these are perfect conditions. It takes a bit of grunt getting up the hill though.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was doing 6 miles an hour.
6 miles.
And these fields are pretty smooth, and I'm not too sure I'd want to go much faster actually.
Yeah.
At that speed, it would take like 30 minutes to do our field.
Yeah.
Even that.
Yeah, so this is 11 acres, this field here, so I would imagine I'd get this done in probably 4 or 5 hours. So, well no, less than that, because when I hay it, I can mow this in about 4 hours, so it'd probably be a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So,
When do you have to be off the field water-wise down here with tractors, and how long can you run on the fields?
it depends on the season. Normally I can't get on, so when I do my hay, my first cut, when it starts going to seed, as soon as I start seeing head, I go in with a big brush hog and knock it off. And so I actually take off the top 6 inches because I don't want any head, because once it goes to head, it's gone, it's done. And then what happens once I've done that, so I can be about that tall, and I'll knock it down to that, and then it starts tillering. So that makes it start to till. So my bottom is always really, really thick. For an example, on this field here, I get about 1,400 bales, and my neighbour, his 12 acres, and he doesn't do anything with that, and he gets about 350 to 400. That's the difference. He doesn't mow it, doesn't fertilise either. And when I fertilise this in the spring, I'm only putting down about 150 to maybe 200 pounds. That's it. About a ton.
Urea or
No, I do it's similar to a 21-7-14 type stuff. But yeah, so and then we get a second cut. I got 500 bales off this yesterday on the second cut. So, but
for fixing.
yeah,
That's a nice stuff to do that.
yeah. So I would imagine that. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I know what I'm doing yesterday. That was fun.
yeah.
But,
Well, and then if you had them, we'll probably hope you have 400 gallons or something.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When it's all up, it weighs 8,000 pounds. Yeah. So, but I don't think I need to. I think I'm right. I think I'm perfect.
Would you think about run this right now?
And then normally we'll graze. So normally I'll graze this with the sheep. I never have my cattle on this. Doesn't take it. But the sheep will graze this 2 to 3 times before I lock it up for the first cut. And then we'll put lambs on this. So this short feed, our lambs will freaking explode on this because it's short and dry. So and I won't irrigate that for that reason alone. Yeah, so lambs do really, really well on the short and dry feed. But so we'll graze this with, and that's the beauty with sheep. You know, there's a whole lot of disadvantages with sheep too. But one of the advantages with sheep is you can graze all winter long. So we'll put the sheep out here in the winter.
Would you run a certain percentage of clover? Do you have a
I try to go about 25 to 30%. There was a lot of clover in this. Yeah. So, yeah, it was funny. Our second cut last year, we feed alfalfa to the ewes about 6 weeks before lambing, just for the calcium. Well, they'd eat the second cut before they'd eat the alfalfa, which really cool for that to happen. So a lot of that's the clover. And then last year, was it last year, Dennis, or the year before? Last year, we no-till drilled this whole field with alfalfa.
And
Grazing alfalfa. So, and we
came through pretty good.
Well, she made it right out.
Yeah.
I think is what happened. Smart sheep. Well, that's the other nice thing about them is they'll actually clean your fields. They go weeds, different things, and so they're really selective browsers. And I think we got a strike because I could find it, and then it's like gone. And so I think they just grazed. It's a grazing alfalfa. But I think we grazed it.
Took
too
it down,
soon.
and the grass just kind of covered it up.
Got it too soon. And it doesn't like a lot of competition, so
it's hard to get established.
yeah, I think
Really
we've got to go
hard. Yeah.
try somewhere in the field where I'm not going to put the mouths over it. So.
Yeah, the
Lambs did great,
Carolinas,
though.
North Carolina especially, they'll get it down like this, and they got a lot of cool, machinery where they're just splitting it a little bit, getting a seed in there.
Well, that's the
going up.
no-till drill. I have one of those as well.
So
And,
those are
so
nice.
and all you're doing is just scratching the surface, and the seed drops because you've got to have dirt contact.
Yeah.
And then you'll get lines. Every 6 inches you'll get lines, and then it fills in. It's a great system, but you've got to have really smooth fields because you
Pops up once and it doesn't do
well. But if you have any any leverage like that, you're not scratching the dirt.
Yeah.
And you're dropping the seed right on top of this, won't germinate. You won't get
Yeah.
anything out of it. So that's one of the downsides to no-tilling.
Now, will this be for those fields that no-till won't be beneficial because it is a little bit unlevel? Would this be better?
Yeah, it will help.
Maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
Don't know yet.
yeah. So the thing is with broadcasting. So I could broadcast right over this behind me like I am with a set of harrows behind it. So that sort of you'll get about a 25-30% germination rate on that. No-till drilling, even if it's on a field like this, you're probably getting it closer to 50-60%.
Okay.
So no-till drilling is better from that standpoint.
Sure.
But if you get into really uneven ground, you get a lot of what we call skips, where it's not scratching that surface, or you'll get some humps where it'll go down too deep,
Sure.
and it won't germinate. But you're putting it in that, it won't germinate either.
No, correct me if I'm wrong though, but to really do a field well in no-till drill, don't you actually spray out everything and then come behind?
Yeah. So how a lot of people do it is they'll go and round up the field, and then come in a no-till drill. I'm just not a big fan of.
Yeah.
We're not of
Yeah,
sprays.
you're not trying to go corner or anything else. So.
But even to get your grass, if you want that variety,
Yeah, that one variety.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it gets rid of the competition, like
Yeah.
you're saying with the alfalfa. If we were serious on that, probably should have done that. But relatively speaking, grass seed is cheap. I mean, it's still spendy when you go get the pallet load of grass seed, but you know, the time, but if you know, it's just like everything, right? If we can put grass seed down, and even if you get 25-30% rate, and you're continuing renewing those fields, that's what we think is it's probably, that's a smart investment.
And you're doing that every 3 years?
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to do. So what we try to do is right after the first cut is when we do the seeding, because it takes, when you go, so again, I just cut this field, so I went from about that tall, and the roots went that deep to about that, because the roots will just when you cut the field, the roots go to the same length as, by and large, same length as the ground above it. So it'll take about 10 days. Now, it won't on the second cut because we've got cooler days, it's more moisture and stuff like that. You know, it even feels more moisture today than what it has done. But after the first cut is when we'll no-till drill this, when it's, you know, dirt virtually, because I'll cut it quite short. And the reason I do that is, and then I'll start irrigating straight away. And the reason I do that is because it'll be germinated and starting to get going before this grass starts coming back and out-competes it. So that's what we try to do that. And the best time to seed is now.
Right.
Is in the fall. Spring's, you know, March. Yeah. Let's see if this makes a difference. Let's go into that high spot there. So this is what I've been waiting for.
And the reason why you didn't put water in the drum was the fields are dry enough that you don't need that extra weight?
I'm getting good penetration here.
Yeah.
This might be it might be a complete waste of time. So I'm outside of that. So we'll see. As you go to 300, right there.
Would you ever do multiple passes?
So I got 6 inches. Well, that's what Mr. Turnbull, I can't remember your first name.
Troy.
Troy was saying. So I've got about 6 inches
Okay.
outside of that. Almost 9, so I've got an extra 3 inches out of that. Let's try it.
One data point does not make a trend.
No, it doesn't.
Do some more.
See, now I'm getting.
Go down there by the hose, right?
See, I'm getting
exactly.
Look at that.
A good spot there.
That's a good spot. I'm not even at 300.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Maybe you don't need to do this field. Huh?
Moisture.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That could get addictive, huh?
Could be out here all day.
That's crazy.
Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Is that good?
That's good.
Yeah. Let's all play.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you know rain's coming within the next week or two, I mean, this is, that's awesome.
Yeah. That would be right after the first cut.
Let's. I don't know. I know we were down here. What if we go real quick up behind the pond? Because I know we've got compaction up there and it's super dry.
Okay.
Can we shift up? Do you guys mind?
Yeah.
Down the hill. So when I churn out, when we land, we go in the barn, and we bring them out here, and then I pick out here. So I have kind of like a gradual rotation, and so I pick them out in the groups. I have about 10. They get used to being in the social group, and I put them in the
So where do you want me to go?
What's that?
Where do you want me to go?
Why don't you just go up and down this hill and around? Because you know it's going to be easier down by the pond.
Oh yeah.
How do you like those water herbs?
Love them.
Yeah.
Love them. That was why I was going in the back.
Oh, we're gonna.
Oh, that's what you were saying you wanted down there, yeah.
Well, we're gonna put them down there now. No, so it's all spring fed, and then there's 47 acres above us that feeds it down through the bloody beaver ponds. You can see the beaver ponds in the corner. Cut that out there last year. But no, so yeah, which, like I say, we pump 140,000 a day, and most.
I'm going to go over here.
Yeah, there's gonna be
There's a lot of compaction.
I'll go and do a couple of.
Yes. Well, let's test first. Well, that's all I'm doing. We can test in front of you.
Somewhere right in here.
Just a little.
Through there. Yeah. The boulders.
October more to let them out.
And so having all the Christmas tree guys down there in the spring, it just gets so so trying to find a good cover crop that keeps it a little bit more just cool down the temperature and everything.
Well, you might need some water in your drum. I think you're only 2 inches down. I told you I'd find you some compacted stuff.
It didn't even make a difference.
Oh yeah.
Oh. See what Noah's finding. We're learning together.
It's a little bit easier to get down in there.
Yeah, this is where you'd add water.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't looking.
Yeah, because you'd have to run water over days before it really soaked in.
No, I mean the drum.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You want to do it when it's dry,
That
right?
was
6 inches,
in
3
before.
inches.
It was,
I just said after it rains with the holes in it.
Oh, was it?
And the water will get down in there now.
Is this
So yeah, it
drum
made a
is off?
difference.
And this is, hey Warwick, can we put the alfalfa in here afterward? Because it gets a chance to establish without me grazing it.
Same there. What's that?
Can I put the alfalfa in here?
Yeah, the only problem is you can't. Alfalfa needs water.
Well, doing this, it'll be a good test. I've got my seed, it's in the bag. I got to go in the ground. It's burning a hole in my bag.
See, and I think there's gravel under here. That's part of the problem too.
Oh, and they made the pond. I think it's just, all right. More, any difference?
Marginal. It's a little difference.
Some
If you
difference.
did it and got a good rain, I bet it would soften it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think if I filled that drum, it would get better penetration too.
Yeah.
Or would you be able to make it up the hill?
Yeah.
An extra couple thousand pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's there.